I got interested in boxing from my dad, Nicholas Stellate Sr. He was the production coordinator for the New York Daily News. And the New York Daily News was the sole sponsor to the New York Golden Gloves. And every year, the Golden Gloves held a finals event in Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing. And there was this one year that stuck out from the most. From all those other years that we used to go, it was the year this young man came from Harlem, and he marched down, and he came down with an entourage of people with a flag over him. I thought it was the American flag. I couldn't tell. It was red, it was white, it was blue, and they were chanting his name, but I didn't understand. It didn't seem like it was English to me. And my dad said, no, he's from a different country. I said, well, he's fighting here in America. He said, yeah, but he's with us, but he's fighting for his country. And he went in that ring, and they called his name to go up and fight, and they chanted his name, and they were cheering, and he had so many people there. And I said, Dad, who is this guy? Who is this figure? He was like the king of Egypt. Who is this young fella? My dad had no idea who he was. None of us did in the aisle. We sat front row. We sat with the legendary greats, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Patterson, Larry Holmes, Joe Frazier. And they're looking clueless, like, where's this young man from? Why? Because he marched in with a team, and they had these colors, and they were so prolific. The bright red, the bright blue, the bright white, and it was just an amazing experience. And that kid, he got in that ring, and he moved around, but the strange part of it was he didn't move around that fast. He wasn't that strong, and one round went, and it looked like maybe he lost. The second round went, maybe it was close to even. He was doing things that was maybe average at most. When the final bell rang, we knew he lost the fight, but you could never imagine, because there was so much electricity in the garden for this young man. And when they called out the winner, and it wasn't him, okay, he ran over to that young man, and he raised his hand proudly. And he looked at him, and he gave him a hug. And I looked over to my dad, and I'm like, Dad, why is he giving that boy so much credit and love if he didn't win? And my dad didn't know what to say. He just looked at me clueless with his hands in the air, And it was just so loud, like we were watching like a New York Knicks game, a playoff game at the New York, with the New York Knicks, a playoff game with the New York Rangers. There was just so much electricity in the air. And, they marched him off that night, and I'll tell you what, it was just an amazing experience to watch, all of that fan support, his family, his friends, and all of these people. He just looked like such a big figure, like the King of England was marching off the premises. And as he left, and that last door shut, I looked over to my dad, and I said, Dad, one day, Dad, I'm going to bring a team in here of boxers, and we're going to win the gold. In 2010, Main Street Boxing brought 30 representatives, young men and women, to the Golden Gloves. In 2011, not only did Main Street Boxing and Fitness bring over 30 representatives, young men and women, but from 18 different countries. 3 went to the finals. 1 was granted the gold, Anthony Pequise, from our own city, New Rochelle, New York.
It's hard. The first time around in 2009, oh man, I lost, But we had a strong team. The Main Street team was like nothing the Golden Gloves ever seen before, It was a sea of red every time we came out to fight. Every member too. It was like about 20 members. And Mike set it up that way, it was a good idea. We had like an advantage on other teams. So anytime I came out to fight, it was just, a lot of motivation, and I knew I couldn't lose. But I did lose, in the quarterfinals. And it was all right. I was a little devastated, but got to move on. I knew next year I was definitely going to get it, 2010. The team got stronger. Mike kept us motivated the whole year. And a couple people made it to Madison Square Garden, me included. And I knew I was not going to lose. I was not going to lose this time around. So I went out there, and, with the support of the team, there was no stopping me. And I got the Golden Gloves. This is it right here. It's the trophy.
Michael Stellate, is not only the owner of Main Street Boxing and Fitness, Michael is a pillar in the community. Each and every day, Michael makes a difference in someone's life, especially in the lives of today's youth. On October 5th, Michael Stellate received a proclamation from Mayor Noam Branson of New Rochelle for his extraordinary work with the youth of our city, officially recognizing and naming October 7th as Michael Stellate Day. This was a great honor and has fueled the fire in Michael, not only to make a difference locally, but to work his way across the nation and make a national difference. Michael's mission is to get kids off the street and away from gangs, drugs, and any type of dysfunction that they are a part of or grew up in.
We're going to wait for Kevin Rooney, one of our fighters on the team. He's going to be fighting the 10th fight tonight. It's his first fight coming.
Whether it be Michael going to speak with a kid's family, teacher, principal, coach, or even probation officer, Michael will do anything to help someone. This is why Michael has never turned anyone away from the gym. Michael feels no matter how you look or where you come from, we all have the same common goal. We all want to feel better. And Michael will do everything in his being, physically, mentally, and emotionally, to help a fellow person out.
But I have the best, in my opinion, the best training regimen and team in all of amateur boxing, Main Street Boxing in New Rochelle. My trainers, Ryan, Willie, Mike, Rick.
On Friday, September 23rd, Main Street Boxing and Fitness held their first annual Westchester Championships.
My name is This September 23rd, a Friday night, we're at Main Street Boxing versus Leukemia. It's going to be a benefit to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Come on out on September 23rd, help us benefit a worthy cause, and watch me give my opponent, Christian Carrozzo, a lesson in the sweet science. Remember, God made police, so firemen would have heroes too.
Christian Carrozzo, 27 years old, representing the New Rochelle Fire Department, fighting against the New Rochelle Police Department September 23rd at the Main Street Boxing Gym.
Where the ultimate fight was against leukemia. Proceeds raised from this event were donated to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. The event was the first of many charity events that Michael plans to hold.
How you doing? Glad to be the first civil service champ. Glad I could, make all my brothers happy. I want to thank Chris Castiglia from New Rochelle Police Department. Great work. And hey, thank you for everything. I had a good time.
By holding these charity events, Michael is not only able to help raise money for the charity, but he is also able to show today's youth that even if you don't have money, you can always do for others.
Here in Westchester, society has been threatened by thousands of gang members causing violent crimes each year. Main Street Boxing and Fitness has taken 30 rival gang members off the streets and empowered them. If we could change 30, we could change 3,000.